They'll be calling you a radical. I can't fucking breathe. Hands up, don't shoot. I want everybody to understand this country's going to erupt tonight. It's going to erupt tonight. This isn't Ferguson. This is New York City. This is Utah. Right there is where the BRA was invented, on this hallowed ground right here. I did all the restoration. This is my town. This is my place. I am the walkie-talkie breathing historian here. I'll take you on a little walk right here. We're going to meet at the Salt Lake Capitol. I believe we're going to meet at the Capitol for our Salt Lake. By the way, this happens, what happened there, dozens and dozens of times in Utah. We're the capital of it. This has nothing to do with police. This has to do with individuals. By the way, we're going to have plenty of cops with this. I played sports in this town for decades. I coach youth athletics. I still coach youth athletics for decades. I play with them. This is an individual problem. These people need to be held accountable for their crimes. This is not cops versus the rest of the fascists. This is systemic. This is the military-industrialized complex gone amok. This is a cultural fascist nightmare that has been created in this country, Operation FOX-CON. You've gone with the military SWAT team personnel. They mass murder here, kick down doors. John Browning would roll over in his grave. I know Matt Browning very personally. When the AK-48, he would go on these grave rides. He was an amazing man, an amazing group. You know, I could get into this so deep, but we'll meet in the Salt Lake Capitol, and this is important. You do know about Danielle. Wow, what he did to her. You know, they arrested the young man's mother. Get this, murdered him with the sword when he had no sword. Mother. You know about the multiple cases here in Weber County. Kicked down his door, you know, no knock warrants, all thing. It's outrageous. It is a systemic problem. Know this. Every single one of you, every single one of you are these people that are victims. You're all Danielle. You're all the young brown boy. I can't fucking breathe. This is New York City. Come on, Bellagio, where are you at? But this is a systemic cross-country. This has nothing to do with cop. This has nothing to do with race. It has to do with hairspray and makeup. Ask FOX-CON News. They're trying to turn it into race. They're trying to turn it into police versus. That's what the fascists do. That's what they've been up to the entire time. I can't fucking breathe. It's outrageous. And by the way, all nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. It looks like there's probably another meltdown going on in South Russia right now. I'm working on it. I'm working. It's hard to get any information out. It's hard to get anything out from beyond there. I'll go take you on a little walk. I'll show you something incredibly historic right here that people don't even know how historic it is. Because history, they've tried to rewrite it. I wouldn't let them. I saved this. I saved this. That's a Leslie Hodson masterpiece. Of course, you know they tore down the only Frank Light riot, and Leslie Hodson, I videoed that. My elementary school. We'll leave my coat here, see if it gets... It's my town. This is the 1905 Masonic Temple. The most historic building in the Western United States, bar none. Now, this used to be the Orpheum Theater. Now, when he walked out and he drew the logo, that's Mighty Ben Lomond right there. When Hodgkins did it right here. This is the Orpheum Theater, the Grand Theater. He walked out and he just drew it on a napkin right there. That's the Paramount Picture logo, the Mighty Ben Lomond. And I can get into why it's named Ben Lomond because of these guys right here. You know, this is the 1905 Masonic Temple. And I can get in it. Leslie Hodson's first masterpiece, but I can get into it much deeper than that. It's the most historical building in the Western United States. Bar none. One of the most historic in the world. For multiple reasons, I'll get into why. We're going to tear it down. One guy, me, I fought. You should have seen this disaster. I hung from a rope in 2009, 7 days a week, 16 hours a day. And I hand chiseled this thing back to it. I worked off a photograph out of the National Archives from the World War I parade, which right there, I think it's so iconic right there. It's what transformed the world, was John Browning's gun. And I hung from a rope and I hand chiseled this thing back to its original. Had pits a foot deep. Nobody even knows how I did it, my secret sauce. But all hands on deck, all hands on deck. is going to erupt tonight. I can tell you right now. I protest all over the country. All over the country, as you know. New York City? Oh, they get it. Oh, do they get it. They got it last night. Oh, do they get it. They're not playing. These are contemporaries that will be in the street. We'll be in the street. This has nothing to do with black-white. This has nothing to do with cop versus hit. No, no, no. Right, left, none of that. This has to do with the military-industrialized complex, completely out of a fascist country that's been created. This is a police state. This is fascism. And if you don't understand Mussolini's concept, you know, they're back. And they're back. And we're our own worst enemies, but we're going to stand up. And we're not going to fight back with a gun, because he would tell you himself. A little outdated there. They're fighting with a whole... Orwell would be proud, wouldn't he? Stand up. We're all Eric. Every one of us is Eric Gardner. You're Eric Gardner. Your son's Eric Gardner. Your cousin's Eric Gardner. Your brother's Eric Gardner. Your mother's Eric Gardner. I am Eric Gardner. You are Eric Gardner. I am Danielle. You are Danielle. All of us. Every one of us. Young, brown, we are all he. Every one of us. Black, white, old, young, left, right. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We know wrong from right. And the Million Mask bunch, people are going to realize one day that we come together because we're all human rights activists. We know right from wrong. And this is grotesquely wrong. It's a murder. And the courts are hijacked. And the police officers inside, it's creating a horrible situation for them, because the good cops are getting caught in this. And they need to stand up. They need to stand up for them. In New York City, I'm friends with one of the sergeants. He's a reverend, by the way, a preacher. He did a great prayer for me right in the streets. You know, so they need to stand up for them. This is about integrity. Wrong, right. I am Eric Gardner. You're Eric Gardner. I can't fucking breathe, literally. If it, you know, what a line that's going to end up being. I can't breathe. Fukushima, Fukushima, Fukushima. I can't breathe. You know, it crosses across all human rights, but this is the top of the heap. At the grassroots. Stand tuned. We'll be at the Capitol in Salt Lake tonight. You know, I'll put the details on this video when I get them, but we're working on it. You know, this is unified across this land, across America. Stand up. Stand up. We all know this is wrong, grotesquely. Stand up. Fuck fascism, America. Stand tuned.